This is 6 loaves worth of dough that I just dumped out of my mixer. And I've put some oil on the countertop. We always want to use oil to knead into the dough rather than flour so that it doesn't get dry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it into 6 portions because I know I'm going to use it for 6 different things. But whenever you deal with bread dough, you don't want to tear it because you're tearing the connection of those little yeast fibers that have already been kneaded. So you always want to pinch and make a pinching motion. So I'm going to take approximately 1/6 of it and I'm going to use my hands to just pinch it off. And that's 1.
And we made enough for 6 loaves here, so you just do it evenly into 6.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been making this bread for how many years now?
Probably 15 years.
15, so you know what you're doing.
Yep, it gets to be kind of rote.
And you use, what kind of a mixer do you use when you have this many loaves at a time?
I use a Bosch Universal.
Okay. And you don't even use a bread machine, you just use a mixer that allows you to do more than, and this is great for batch baking and batch cooking so you can save time.
And the nice thing about this is if it does save a lot of time because I can either make 6 loaves of bread or I can make 2 pizza doughs and 4 loaves of bread, or a pan of cinnamon rolls and a pan of hamburger buns and 2 pizza doughs and 2 loaves of bread.
Okay, perfect.
So you can do everything you need kind of all at once. So now that I've got into 6 portions, and this one's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to pinch off a little piece of that and add it to one of these. But then you do your kneading, and you want it to look really smooth. And all I'm doing is taking a part that's sticking out, and I'm pressing it in with the palm of my hand, with the kind of the pad on your hand. And you're going to go around and around. And again, your bread dough should be really elasticy. So see how it kind of comes undone? That means that the yeast has done its job. So it feels kind of elastically. It springs back a little bit.
And you said with yeast, you want to make sure it comes to room temperature when you're cooking it because it's a live organism.
It is.
And you don't want to put it in the microwave to make it come to room temperature.
Right, that will kill it.
That will kill it.
Anything too hot, anything over about 125 degrees will kill it. So you want to make sure any of the moisture that you add to your bread dough is between 110, 120, 125 degrees. Okay. And so then see how smooth it is on this bottom side? That's perfect for a loaf of bread. So then what I'm going to do is I have a stainless steel bread pan right here. It doesn't have any seams in it, and it's nice and makes a good loaf of bread. And I do spray a little bit of non-stick in there. Just on the bottom. You don't really need to spray it on the sides, because you do want it to grab a little bit on the sides as it rises. And then just put it in there. And then something my kids always do, laugh at me for doing, is I spank it. And that just, if there's any surface bubbles or anything going on in there, it just kind of makes sure it's not doing that.
Okay,
so,
good.
Then you just leave it there, and it'll take, depending on the temperature of your house or the temperature outside and the humidity and all that, you just want to watch it rise till about double in height. And it'll take anywhere up to from 30 minutes to an hour or so.
Okay.
And really what you're looking for at that point is when it's done with its elasticity. Remember how we talked about how it kind of springs back? Well, once it's rising, I'm going to press my finger in the side of the loaf, and if it doesn't spring back, then I'm going to know it's done rising.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it gets to the height you want, but to double check it, you're going to touch the side, and that will let you know.
Yeah, and just press your finger in pretty good, and if it doesn't spring back, then it's done rising.
Well, great. Thanks, Anna.